Okay, so it's Felicity from GetYourRockOut here with the lovely Rusty from Electric Mary. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. I just met Mel B out the back. She's here? No, she's not here, is she? No. No, I'm going really well. We've played our show at 4 o'clock. The audience was ready to rock, and we rolled on over them.
Wonderful, the best kind of show then. I do think we should try and start a rumour about Mel B though. If we say it enough, people will believe it.
No, she's in Australia at the moment. She's on television all the time, so we need to be nice to Mel B at the moment. She's lovely. Hello, I'm Mel B. I'm lovely.
Wonderful, and of course we're at Hard Rock Hell. There are some fantastic bands playing. Have you actually managed to see anybody else yet?
I saw only the one band before us, which is those guys sitting right there, and I've forgotten their name. I'm a naughty boy. Burning Crows. I saw them, they were good. But I tell you who I did meet today, and I'm very happy. I met the drummer of the Electric Boys. Yes. He actually introduced himself to me. What he didn't know was this, and not many people know this, because I never really mention it. But when we got our name from a woman in America who works at Jimi Hendrix Studios, her nickname is Electric Mary, Mary Campbell. When I came home with that name, and I said, I really like this, I'm going to call the band Electric Mary. People said, there's too many electric bands. I went, yeah, but you know what? I used to love the Electric Boys, and there was a band in Australia called the Electric Hippies. And I said, that's kind of paying a little bit of homage because I like those electric bands, so I want to be an Electric Mary too. There's plenty of electric bands around. So I told him that story. Now, I'm not sure whether you believe me, but it actually is true. The Electric Boys, in some small way, actually is attached to the Electric Mary. And he came to our show, and I think they're on tomorrow, and he watched it, and he genuinely really seemed to like it. So I had my little bit of, goodness today. Yeah.
It's always lovely when things like that happen as well, and it's one of these things that reminds you why the industry is so good in so many ways.
Exactly, but we've toured with so many bands, and we toured in 2009 with Whitesnake, and the drummer and myself are huge fans of Coverdale's, and so I rang their tour manager before they even got to Australia and said, listen, what's the protocol, can we meet David? And he said, no, you come to the gig, you play, you get out and get out of his way because he's just going to sing, and we're like, yep, no problem, that's okay, at least we're getting to play with them. So we got to the sound check, we did the sound check. The guy said, listen, when the gig is finished, make sure you get your stuff out and, clear out, because Whitesnake need the rooms and that. So I'm singing away and we're doing our set, we're having a good time, and I turn to look at our guitarist, and David Coverdale's on the side of the stage watching us, and I'm like, then I turned the other way, and the freaking band were filming us and going, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
Wow.
So we go back down into the room when we're finished. I'm ripping off my top, and the bass player was with me, and I said to him, Neil, we've got to get out of here. They've told us to get out. Coverdale walks in our room, puts out his hand and says, great show, man. And he left, and I never saw him again. I'm like, I don't care.
Wow,
that's
that makes
great.
It worth it.
It was amazing, man. To be told, no, you can't meet him, you've got to get out of his way. He come in the room and went, great show. I'm like, yes, there you go.
Amazing.
Loved it, yeah.
Wow.
That's my story of goodness.
It's a brilliant story.
I made it up. No, I didn't.
And you're touring the From the Vault EP this year.
Yep.
So what can you tell us about that?
That was something we recorded in 2010, and this year we toured Japan, and they asked if we had any new stuff, and I said, well, we don't really, but we do have the stuff we're recording in America with Jason Corsaro, who worked with Soundgarden and even Madonna. I think he's worked with a lot of people. But we're just going to do one song with him. But when we were warming up and stuff and doing stuff, he recorded and it sounded so good that I said, can we just record some songs live and don't worry about doing one new song? And so, we had a little contractual problem, but nothing really came about. But when the Japanese said, have you got any new songs? I went, we do have this stuff we can put out, and it's just live. It's just us playing live. It's exactly what we do, every day, every night. Yeah.
And so do you think it captures the energy of the live performance as well as you'd want?
Absolutely. It was a great day. The band was all smiles. It sounded really good in there, and because rock and roll's a great leveler because you have your great days, but you also have your puffy days.
I mean, you've got a great reputation for live performance. What do you think that the best thing to do on the stage is? What do you always go out there with the intention of getting across?
For me, to be honest, with the 24 hours in a day, you only get 1.5 hours to sing on the day you play. And Australia is a long way to come when you're coming to any country. And I just don't want to not have a good time. And sometimes you struggle. The other night in London, a guy stood in front of me with his arms folded. And I'm like, okay, it's all right. I just squatted down and sung right in his face. He left.
Nice.
But, don't come to a rock and roll show if you don't want to have fun. Now, these guys tonight, I knew as soon as we walked on that they were up, they were ready, they were going. And I'm like, okay, as long as we do our thing, I think we'll be all right. And fingers crossed we won a few fans today.
And I have to ask about the priest.
Oh, yeah. The priest, they're one of the most embarrassing things we've ever sort of happened to us. I got a priest up in Spain the other day on stage. I didn't know he was a priest, though. So I said, hey, I'm going to teach you to be a rock and roller. So I took off his sunglasses. He had glasses on. I took off his glasses. I zipped up his hoodie, pulled the hat over his head, pulled his pants down a bit, and I even, cupped his kahunas. I didn't touch them. I didn't touch them. And I'm making him go, on stage and shit. And then someone goes, he's a priest. I went, no. But, he was fine. I had a Facebook messages from some people telling me that, don't, because I put up a little thing that said, this is what I did. And they messaged me and said, don't worry, this guy, he goes to death metal shows, blood metal, he just loves music, and he just looked like he looked like a priest. I should have known.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations on that anyway. It's quite an impressive thing to do.
You think?
In
My
some
mum would be so proud.
And you guys, you've been running a tour diary throughout the latest tour as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, do you find that kind of thing really, really helps you to connect with the fans on a whole new level?
I don't know if showing our drummer with his arse hanging out is that clever, but yeah. Well, I think it does, because Alex has done a really good job. You drive 5-6 hours and he's editing things and stuff. And yeah, it really lets the people who we've got some staunch followers in Australia, and then it's like they can come with us, and the new people who don't know us might look on it and go, and there's always a bit of we try to have a bit of humour in there, because you got to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to. With this face, you got to laugh.
I must admit, it has made me laugh. You've got all these people doing all these amazing rock gigs and all these rock stars, but you're all in hats and coats and scarves. It's very funny.
It's fucking freaky.
I know, right? In all fairness, it is Wales, and you are used to Australia, so I think it is.
I think it's very hot in Australia.
It's absolutely. I must admit, I've never been. Always wanted to go, and hopefully one day I'll be making it. But
come on.
It would be.
It's only a 30-hour flight.
Exactly. What's putting me off? The next kind of 6 to 12 months, where can we expect to see you guys? What can we expect to see you doing?
Well, I think we'll have time off when we get home. We'll spend Christmas away from each other. No presents for any of them. I'll be Scrooge. And we've got a show in February. That's the next show that we'll do. and I'll start writing, and I'll record with our guitarist again some new demos, and we'll see. The real plan is to come back here in June, July.
So there are a couple of festivals on the cards, maybe.
Well, there is one in France that our fingers are crossed. We were meant to do it last year, but they chose somebody else over us, which is okay. It's actually okay because Black Sabbath was supposed to play, and so were Van Halen, and they both pulled out.
Oh.
So the only problem is that might be holding it back is Kiss is meant to play next year. And when we played last time, Kiss played, so they might not want to. You can't really have festivals with the same bands on. Although, you know,
but enough of them do it, and there are only so many bands in the world that people want to see these things. So
it's funny that I mean, rock and roll is not really the flavour of the month anywhere. It's all doof, 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 doof. But when there's festivals on, they're always packed, and they want to see those bands. It makes me laugh because in Australia have the headliners that don't actually get played on radio in Australia, and they're the massive headliners, and everyone wants to see them. And I think, well, why don't you just play it on the radio then?
Yeah.
Because there's 80,000 people here, and they're watching this band, and they're the headliners. You know?
It's pretty incredible. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you for taking the time to...
Yeah, my pleasure. I have a fantastic rest of weekend. And yeah, we really, really hope to see you back in the UK at some point next year. So,
I'm moving on to the nuns now.
Nice. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.